Welcome in for this esports life with a respected broadcaster, a really highly revered broadcaster. You know, the 64 tick terror, Launders, and Squeaks is here as well, joining us today. I think we're on episode 23.
Yeah, I'm happy to do this fucking video, so you can't sneak a vape hit here and there without someone keeping you accountable.
No, I will be proudly vaping. That's true throughout the broadcast.
We'll see about that.
Yeah,
I don't know about that. But...
since when do you have say? I mean, we might even pick up a vape sponsor. Then you'll have to.
I'm down
to stay on the show. Yeah, vape sponsor. Then you're down.
Oh, 100%, dude. I'm gonna embody the fucking
fat
vape.
cloud? He'll do anything for money. That's what
I'm a fucking.
That's what we learned after 3 episodes.
That's why I've been streaming Apex.
That's why I've been streaming Apex. You've been streaming Apex because you're trying to become a huge Twitch.television streamer. But isn't it? But irregardless, isn't it counterproductive to try to stream the biggest game on Twitch if you're not one of the biggest broadcasters?
Yeah, you like especially a game like Apex though, because there's not only everyone is streaming it, but also like. It's kind of boring to watch.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you think it's boring?
It's not like Fortnite.
Like because of your skill level, or like boring because, or do you think it's like boring because of the game?
Yeah. So, well, at such a high skill level, it can get boring. You know, I guess if I keep killing people, but also I think the game is just not as. It just looks a little too samey. You know what I mean? There's nothing that like.
That's also not a word, I don't think, but.
Samey is a word.
Is it?
Yeah,
you didn't look confident. I like that we have video now. I can see when you don't look confident.
You can see it's like an episode of Lie to Me. You like see that?
Capital of Canada is obviously Ottawa.
Okay, I googled it. Fuck. I'll admit it, dude.
Yeah, but you also did you say Alberta? You said Alberta is your favorite city.
I did not. You're just putting words in my mouth.
What did you say?
I'm not saying it. It's a province.
Okay. All right.
Boom. See?
It's a province of what territory?
Shut the fuck! What is this, dude? It's like, are you smarter than a 5th grader?
Would you win? Are you smarter than a 5th grader?
I would absolutely destroy at that game. Absolutely.
Oh, would you be proud if you won?
Yeah, of course. Well, okay, wait, shit. you would get destroyed, dude. 1-on-1 with me.
What? And
smarter than a 5th grader?
Uh-huh.
I'll destroy you. That and Tetris.
Can we play like a 1-on-1 on that? Is there a game version like that we could play?
Dude, there must be. Like, I bet you there is.
All right.
That'd be fun. That's actually an idea.
This would basically just be doing like trivia and shit, like geography trivia.
I'm down. That'd be super fun. Maybe on the next episode of this esports life, we can have a trivia segment.
Let's get innovative, like how Fortnite got innovative by looking into a respawn system.
Right? I love that. It's like such a new idea.
Yeah.
But it's like you kind of have to do that, you know, to compete. That's why Apex is doing such a good thing, is making everyone fucking elevate to the next level of BRs.
It looks bad.
It's really good.
It looks bad when you are playing catch up, right? If you come up with the ideas yourself, it's awesome. Even if the ideas aren't so bad, but when you're playing catch up, it looks weak. But at the same time, you still have to, because not making a change at all is the worst of the 3 options. Either changing or not changing because of something, or just staying complacent and not changing your game at all.
No, I agree. But it's better to change your game and look weak. You know, otherwise you just get left behind. I think there's been like games like that as well, who just like refuse to change.
There's a recurring theme to your answers about some stuff that happens in the industry, like when there's a big blow up, and that is that people forget. Like you're saying with EA, people are going to be quick to forgive if EA, because of EA's past, because they love Apex as a product, and that applies there too, right?
100%. In anything, most times people forgive like a company if the product itself is really good. We've seen that like time and time again.
Yeah,
and
look at Mo TV.
Yeah, that's right. Shut up. Don't even give him a plug.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you know, it's his resurgence.
Yeah, he's only got a couple hundred people watching him play Apex, so thought I'd help him out.
Yeah, but hey, he's still got that cash, bro.
How many chances do you get? How many chances do you give somebody?
In that sense, like 1. I think there's
baseball?
a degree. No. It depends on what they do, right? Like Mo kind of scammed people. Is generally kind of a douche.
His own viewers.
Funny as fuck. Yeah. His own fans. But he's super funny.
Yeah, but he's funny.
I can imagine. Yeah.
There's people I won't mention, but like they're not funny enough to survive They're not funny enough to survive when they fuck up. You know, it
Yeah,
happens.
yeah, totally.
It happens.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, if you're a personality, I think you can get away with a lot,
mhm.
which is shocking. I think half the people who are like in this like skin gambling scandal or whatever, I won't name names either,
Yeah,
but they're doing great, and it seems like most people forget. So who am I to
dude.
judge?
A couple people were made for life. They were making $10,000 to $15,000 for a 15-second ad at the beginning of their videos, or to make just like a video about gambling on the sites.
Yeah, but I mean that's so, like you made for life financially. But can you imagine like going to sleep at night? Like
Yeah, on
you
your
just
bed
have
of
to fucking
money.
do it.
Like, oh my god, I just need a little bit more for the money pillow before I can get
Yeah,
a sound night's rest.
but it's sweet. Like that shit. Like you could be quote unquote made for life. But even if you make like a few mil, it's not gonna last you that long. You still have to push yourself. You know.
Behind
Otherwise, what's gonna happen?
behind every great fortune, there is a crime. Do you believe that?
No, I think that makes a great sentence,
Okay,
but I don't think that's true. I think behind every great fortune, two things: how do you define a great fortune,
a
right?
lot of
And
fucking
then,
money. That's how you
yeah,
define it.
some cash.
Uh,
No, but I think some people can make a lot of money honestly, while definitely helping the world.
but
I
aren't they
think
just
like
suckers?
no, you're an idiot. No, I mean that's why like whenever someone makes money, there's always a group of people that are like, "Fuck you," like "fuck that guy, man." Are you kidding me? He's such a little piece of shit. Elon Musk, he smoked
Mhm.
a doobie on Joe Rogan, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. It was so good. Like there's always gonna be some group of people that are like, "Oh, this guy fucking blows and he's
No,
immoral."
no matter fucking how good or great you become. I was telling Get Right this. We were at after party after Face It, and
Mhm.
after losses, he takes losses really hard, obviously.
Yeah.
And I remember this quote from Kobe Bryant where he said, "Friends are fleeting, but banners hang forever." That's what he said.
Yeah.
And so he's talking about winning championships. And I like brought that quote up to Get Right because he basically was like going along the same sentiment of I want to leave a legacy. These are my biggest goals. I need to win to be able to say that like I accomplished something. But I said I like refute that quote because banners are just materials. Like they're not gonna hang forever. The stadium won't be there forever. A few generations from now, people might not ever know who you are. Everyone might be extinct one day. Like ultimately, you can't
Yeah.
you can't value yourself on things like that are just subjective to your time and place in history. A lot of people don't give a fuck about basketball, and a lot of people in the future will never even know about it. And so,
Yeah.
to put like a value on your legacy on that is fine, but only if you can actually admit to yourself that isn't for the thought that you could be remembered forever, because that's not possible.
Oh no, I totally agree. I think people fool themselves. They feel self-important when they're not important at all.
Hmm.
That's why like people it's unsustainable to see your own worth through other people's eyes, and it's like better to get that worth intrinsically. If you really are happy with what you're doing, then fucking do it. Be a wicker or whatever the fuck, you know?
How did that conversation start? Be a wicker? Oh yeah,
I don't remember.
that was your humble
But
life, right? The
yeah,
yeah, okay.
like if you were born back then with a wicker skill, then fucking wick away, and wick yourself first and foremost.
Wick your
But
best life.
that's right. No, but I totally agree. I mean, banner everything. Like you'd be lucky to be remembered for 50 years after you die, right? Like
Yeah.
if you're like great. Like I don't remember the great kings from fucking God knows when, like from fucking millennia ago.
Yeah.
But you'll be pretty much forgotten. So do what you want, but don't sell fucking skin gambling websites to kids. That's the
Yeah.
line,
Yeah.
you know?
Glaive said the other day on Twitter
Mhm.
that he kind of just put it so, not frankly to imply that it's true, but he just so plainly that his opinion was basically that the throwing thing was not a big deal. And he said these five players have not been able to play for 5 years and for stealing candy. He said they were in jail for 5 years for stealing candy. CS:GO dev, please unban I Buy Power.
Yeah.
I think after 5 years, it's fair to say that even in for many professional sports, you'd have a certain amount of time banned. Sometimes you could get banned forever, but that was never made clear. I Buy Power will probably never be unbanned at this point. But how do you feel about him saying that?
I'm so conflicted because at one part of me is like, fuck you. I agree with Glaive. I mean, maybe not the candy comment, but I agree that they should be unbanned. I mean,
Stealing skins. E-candy.
it's yeah, but it's like forget about what they look like or whatever. I mean, it's how much it was worth, like not just worth, but the precedent behind it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's the context. Yeah, you're stealing something relatively small, but the context of it was kind of fucked up. But that being said, I also think they should be unbanned. I think Valve has been super dodgy about communication about it as well. So
Yeah.
it's so fucked up to put someone in like the interim of like sort of like purgatory, you know? Like you don't know if you're here or there and you're practicing for no reason. But I just think clear communication. Even if they came out and said, we're never unbanning these people no matter what, boom. At least there's something definitive there. And that would be kind of fucked up, but at least it's fair for the players. But just their lack of communication has been like such a fucked up thing. So I sort of like am very tepid to agree with Glaive, but at the same time, I don't disagree.
I hear that. It's tough. I think I like the sentiment. Like I like that he was like, I'm going to be open and say this is how I feel.
Yeah.
And you know, because I think people are on the wrong side of the argument sometimes for the wrong reasons. Like you can be on the other side of the argument, but a lot of people just don't have the right reasons. Make bad comparisons and stuff.
I mean, people are also young. Like I forget, but like the Global Offensive subreddit, it's pretty young. Like it's actually like the average age is probably like 15
4.
or 16 from some of those posts. You know what I mean? Like here's a picture of me and Shroud. Here's a picture of me and Clay.
Those ones I never understood. Those ones I just don't understand. I just don't understand. I understand fluff. I understand like the stupid like GIFs where they like follow the hand track and shit like that, and it's like
sure.
Like those, I get that. 700 upvotes, take it. It's kind of funny a little bit. The selfies of somebody that already exists that you've seen that probably streams that's been in better photos with better lighting. Now just with somebody you've never seen before that doesn't actually matter. No offense, just a fan that randomly ran into them more than anyone else, right? And shut up, dude. You're making me look like a fucking demon again.
Your fans don't matter?
I always say something really controversial at the beginning of our shows. And that gets thousands of upvotes. That I don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't like to get salty about what gets upvoted. That just doesn't make sense to me as to what is so appealing. It's just it's to see your favorite CS:GO player in the wild. Is that what it is?
Yeah, like at a grocery store. Sometimes I go to the gym. Are you kidding me? These Counter-Strike gamers.
Gym,
What about celebrities? Do you feel better about like, oh, here I am with Leonardo DiCaprio, you know? Or is that weirder or is that about the same?
I don't
like,
give a
when
fuck.
those things get...
I don't need to see someone with Leonardo DiCaprio. Do you?
I mean, yeah, like
you just want to see him as much as possible. Is that what it is?
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't make me look weird about it. You know, it gets upvoted. You see a Leo DiCaprio in the wild, you know, fucking putting almond milk in his Safeway cart. Come on.
Should be using cashew milk, honestly. It's the ultimate nut milk. The best alt milk possible. Where'd your mind just go? You're so... Jesus Christ. You're saving the economy. You can't even take...
Dude, what do you mean? You can't read me. There's nothing wrong with nut milk. I'm just saying.
Ew.
Those are your words, bro.
You know what's so funny about TMZ? They have when I lived in Santa Monica, their building was near Santa Monica where I lived.
Yeah. Completely
hidden.
What do you mean?
The newspaper there's no marks on the building. Like you can't find TMZ. But
they don't want paparazzi.
They don't want paparazzi.
Come on, have some decency.
Have some decency. Christ, can we just respect this company's privacy?
What are your thoughts on like paparazzi and stuff? Do you think TMZ is going to get involved in esports?
You know, it's so fucking, of course, dude. It's already, you're seeing this is exactly the path that we go down when we start uploading pictures of people at airports meeting Pasha biceps. You know, like this is the precedent that's being set.
But I would say Pasha and all are just as fucking like they're just as easy to blame. I mean, they're posting their life all over the place.
Blaming,
you know?
For what are you blaming pros? What's wrong with them? They didn't do anything wrong.
No. I love how you're trying to turn it around so quick. Like, damn, Squeaks 15, blaming the pro players.
Jesus, what a harsh statement. If
you fucking let people into your entire life, then why are you so surprised that people are like following you around, you know?
You think that's how it should be?
Well, no, I don't think that's how it should be. I think that's the reality.
Do you think that's that's fair? That's the reality, and you need to be used to that. Yeah. Have you seen how bad it gets though?
On like TMZ.
Yeah. And you
Yeah,
see
it
what
gets
these
fucking horrible.
paparazzis are fucking cockroaches, dude.
Yeah, they're
They
so
are,
gross.
dude, you know the weirdest part is there's like paparazzis will film like 5 minute long videos of them, the whole process of like catching the celeb, you know,
Yeah,
baiting them into saying something, you know, baiting them into being their friend. And it's really fucked up. You see,
yeah.
a paparazzi follow Kanye West around for like 5 minutes, and the whole
Outside
time
his house, dude. It's
outside his
fucked.
house, they'll be throwing compliments at them. Dude, Graduation's the best album of all time. Like, love all your music. You haven't dropped it. I love this statement you made on Twitter. Until something catches their attention, until
Yeah,
anything. And even then, even though you could clearly see them fishing for it, and you know they have a camera up, and it's their job to get a quote, eventually they do bite, and they'll respond to something, or they'll say thank you, or they'll kind of be their friend, and then they'll give them the interview or the small quote or whatever it is, and it's really
yeah,
fucking sad because it feels like they actually have fallen for it, like they actually believe this person is genuinely being nice to them just to
yeah,
talk to them. And it's the, I guess the worst part is it's because they're just these leeches, right? They're always around, that they have become just a regular part of their life when they walk down the street.
yeah. That's just like the contract you sign when you're famous. It's so fucked up
Yeah.
that that's the fucking like minimum. But contrarily, like what happens is, I feel like there's a lot of celebrities that literally share everything. Like I think Taylor Swift or whatever is like she's sharing her whole life. And like when there's a bunch of girls that are like following her around and being like, Taylor, I love you, that's sort of the persona that she's put on. Like when she's like, oh my God, on Twitter, I love everyone. I love you guys. And then you see her in person at an airport. Of course, some of them are like, hey, Taylor, what's up? What's going on? Because that's
Tay,
the
Tay.
precedent. Yeah.
That's the
Tay.
secret. You want to make friends, you got to you shorten their name in some way. Otherwise,
Yeah. Hey, yay. Hey, Tay. I love those paparazzi videos right there. Like, hey, Keem. Keem.
my
Hey,
man,
Keem.
my man, my man.
Over the crowd in the back of a crowd.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Keem. Keem.
Yeah, they send him out. They send him out. They pat him on the ass. They're like, all right, approach these guys like you knew them already, you know? Just let them know.
Yeah. Oh, it's fucked up. Everything's fucked up, but I can't imagine that degree of like paparazzi cringiness in esports, though. There's something about it that's just like,
You
I
can't
don't
see
know.
that?
No, I can't.
I think it'll get there and we won't realize how we got there, you know? I think people always, first of all, two things. I don't think people change. And I think
Yeah.
there are so many parallels to be drawn between like sports, esports, just being famous outside of sports and famous in sports or in esports or whatever it is. Like just being
Yeah.
famous, right? And then also fandom. I don't think that changes just because we're in a different industry. We have
But do you think
smarter
there's like degrees of fandom?
Absolutely, yeah.
Do
You
you
don't
think
think
we'll
we're
ever
capable
get?
of activating that? I think we're more capable of activating
Yeah.
those degrees of fandom than even movie stars. Than even movie
Interesting.
stars. Because of streaming. You get to see every second of a person's life. You feel like you actually know them. It is
Yeah.
very, very strange when you meet, even with I meet somebody that I've seen on stream for a long time, because I know so much more about their personality and it's loaded like a cartridge into my brain. And then as soon as I see them, it's somebody I've never met before that I actually know so well. It's very weird. And
That is
then as soon
creepy.
as I start talking to them, they are not talking to me like I was talking to them in chat, you know? Because they don't know anything
Yeah.
about me. And they might recognize me after, or they'll recognize the name and they'll be like, oh, hey, and they'll, try to make a conversation. But it's such a strange moment where you almost want to forget everything you knew about them because you'd have a better time starting a conversation with someone you didn't even know.
Yeah, that's true. I've never thought about it like that. Like, there's so much you can extrapolate just from what someone chooses to type in a chat. I feel like even more so than meeting someone, because then everyone has like a mask, Then
Yeah.
there's like physically being there. That also plays into it. That's
Yeah.
fucking weird.
That
But
is
I don't
super
know.
weird.
Getting to that Keem part will be fucking.
It'll
Mulligan.
happen, man. Oh my god. Stay away from the first name, dude. Fans get crazy. You saw like that photo. It looked like a fucking zombie attack where like MIBR, I think with Stewie on the team at the time. It was like Belo Horizonte, where they had like a metal divider up and the fans could not see through them, but they knew that MIBR were walking out. And they had Stewie walking by and they had fans' hands underneath. People were on the ground reaching through with their like different, like their peripherals or like their clothing just to hand them to get them signed by anybody. Like it was insane. They were just eating dirt to get their fucking shit signed.
That looks like a zombie apocalypse. That picture is fucking
Yeah.
crazy. Where they're like going through the bleachers. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
And Stewie's like signing shit. That's fucking
No,
crazy.
there was a metal, like almost a wall that rolls in so that they could walk
Yeah.
out, and their hands were reaching. They were on the ground, on the floor, reaching under it with stuff. You seen
Oh, what
that?
the
It
fuck?
is fucked.
No.
It's kind of scary. It's kind of
Yeah.
scary. You know, Hiko
Yeah.
had to have Hiko had to have security when he was in Brazil because there was that scandal at iBuyPower where
Yeah.
somebody tripped the power cord and then they like restarted the round. Hiko didn't like want to give them a ruling because he felt like it was unfair, and then he
Yeah.
just angered a nation. And then when he actually went there. They had to have security for him to go everywhere.
Yeah. That's scary as fuck with all those death threats and stuff. I heard about that.
Yeah.
That's really messed up. That's when it gets too real for me.
Yeah.
That's when that sounds like celebrity fucking stories, you know. That sounds like ridiculous.
And we're
to me.
still in our infancy, right?
Yeah. Esports is still growing like even faster than like actors.
Everything.
Yeah. So
I
it's like
remember-
only gonna get more like scary than that. I
Yeah.
can imagine.
I remember when like you know Marshmello is like just a giant fucking DJ.
Yeah.
With just like all these hits. Like you don't even have to know who he is to have heard his music. Like, you after you see his music, you're like, holy fuck, I heard that on the radio. Like this guy's massive. And
Yeah.
they partnered him up with Ninja at the Pro AM because they're trying to partner up an influencer with a real celebrity. And then they basically put him with the most popular person there that was a celebrity, which was Marshmello, a international DJ that everybody fucking knows. He does music, you know, the most
Yeah.
just so much in common with almost everybody. And then everyone's freaking out about that. And then you go and check their Twitters and you see that Ninja has over 2 million more followers than Marshmello does.
Yeah.
Right? And you're like, what the fuck
Yeah.
is going on?
That's fucking weird. But do you ever feel like this might be just my weird fucking personality, but I hate it. Like when I heard Ninja was playing with Drake, or when fucking Marshmello is being in Fortnite or whatever, or like Marshmello is making a push towards like fucking gaming or whatever the fuck,
Yeah.
I get pissed. I'm like, dude, stay away from this. You know, I like this being smaller than like Drake, like trying to make some
Yeah.
fucking fans to sell albums.
I mean,
you
there's
know?
nothing worse than hearing hearing a fucking news anchor say gamer, right?
Yeah.
Nothing hurts worse than that. So
Hello, gamers.
hello, gamers.
Yeah. Has gaming gone too far?
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, it's the worst shit ever. But I want people to stay away from it. Like, I don't want everyone to. I don't want it to be like the most mainstream shit ever. And that's probably me just being greedy. And I'm like, no, I want it to be kind of undergroundy. You know?
Yeah.
I don't want everyone to jump on the bandwagon because that's when it becomes fucking lame. That's when it becomes like, you know, a fucking late night talk show is when streams will turn into some fucking high production and they lose the grunginess of it.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, you can't even be proud to play Fortnite, and like it's a really good game on one hand, and it's really good at being popular, and it's very cartoony and stuff. But if you say you play Fortnite, people think all kinds of thoughts about you instantly. Like it's just loaded to say the word, you know, at all. You can't say I'm like good at Fortnite and it's a hard game unless someone's played it and they already know, and then you don't have to explain that. If you're having a conversation with someone in real life, it's just like the most popular thing right now. You just look like a fucking ditz, right?
Yeah.
It's terrible. And so yeah, but you kind of, you know, as I guess as mature onlookers, we like kind of quietly applaud or just quietly encourage esports to get more popular, just so there's more fans and stuff, and in the future everything will normalize again, right?
Oh, absolutely. I hope so. I mean, even like any spike in popularity is great. Like I think it's a good thing for Drake to play.
Yeah.
But I also just hate the moment where you see ABC News being like, "Is Fortnite the reason why your kid is getting bad grades?" Did you see the segment on like Fortnite coaches? Is that a real thing? Like,
It definitely,
fuck you.
definitely is though, probably for a lot of.
Yeah, but they're
Did
so
you-
late to the game.
Oh, of
you know?
course, yeah.
Like, they're like, dude, it's been like coaching and games has been around since fucking forever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, literally, people used to, they still do advertise on their ESEA pages, like, coach, PM me for coaching. It's like, it's always been a thing.
Yeah.
But now news is like, oh, this is popular. Like, let's try to cash in on this a little bit and try to get people talking about it.
Yeah, that this bridge to the mainstream is huge. There's such a big yearning from mainstream media to try to identify with esports all the time. It's almost like very honest because they want to be truly interested so they can make an interesting story of it, but they have to be able to understand it. So they look for all the commonalities that they can. My first like foray into that was when I did the interview with Semphis, and they said they did Adderall, right? And then it was like I was getting fucking dogpiled by like ESPN, like there's a New York Times, I was on HuffPost Live, all these people for a story that for us was just was stale at that point. We'd talked it into the ground. No one gives a fuck anymore. And then I was literally in print in the New York Times. They didn't even ask me permission, by the way, for you that photo for the fucking New York Times. Yeah.
Let's get that cash, dude. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it was on German Evening News on TV. Like unreal shit. But it was the first time they finally saw something they could understand. They finally saw something like, okay, this is actually, even though it's a bad and a negative thing, they don't necessarily like it because it's a bad thing that makes something that they already didn't like look bad. That might have been part of it for some people, but I think it was the best because it just made it relatable to sports for them. And sports is something they understand. And when they see, like, I guess just the thought that someone is abusing drugs, PEDs, right? Wow, they must want to try so hard. Like this is something serious going on. That helps them like gain interest in what they're doing.
That's just the most fucked up thing, though. It's like it's not even like I feel like that year was such a good year for Counter-Strike, and of course no one wants to talk about any of that. They're looking at selling a piece of paper. Like I could just imagine like a fat guy in like a boardroom with a cigar being like, I love this fucking story, right? Like this will sell great, you know?
Yeah, the fat cat with
doing
like
drugs, you know? Like,
6 rings on one end.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like a guy who wears shorts on the airplane kind of guy.
Oh my god, those kind of people, dude.
He's just fucking trying to get that fucking sale.
Not everyone knows that. You cannot wear shorts on the airplane. Okay, Nathan did once. It should be illegal. Nathan did once, but it's because he didn't own pants. Because he's from Florida, and if you're from Florida, you just you might not own pants. It's like always.
So but you can just buy fucking pants. Can I say that? Is that not allowed? Just buy fucking pants.
Yeah, you could have bought pants, but if you didn't fly before and. You get one. You get one. All right, everybody gets one. All right, it's the Spider-Man rule, I think.
Okay, well, at least you can either do. I'll allow shorts once, but you can't. Once you do shorts, you can't go to flip flops or anything on the plane, right? You have to have some good airplane etiquette.
First of all, people are allowed to wear flip flops whether or not you like them. You can take a stand against feet if you like, because feet are ugly hands. But people are allowed to have feet, right?
Well, okay, listen. I don't want to say anything that'll make me some enemies, but I want to draw a clear distinction. Okay. Feet are fine, okay? I don't love them. In fact, I think they're a little nasty.
Would you taste them?
Was that?
What?
Excuse me? Anyway, I'll pretend like I didn't hear you. I think your mic cut out. Anyway, so feet are like fucking kind of gross, kind of nasty. Not a big fan of feet. But feet with flip-flops.
Like nasty taste to
it. Sorry, nasty what?
So let's continue.
Oh I can't just continue like I didn't hear you say that.
Okay, feet suck.
Feet are terrible, but feet with I'm tired. Just keep bringing it up, like talking about a year later. Like, okay, so you suck on feet. Next segment, we're gonna talk about.
What the fuck did you just say? You nasty.
No. Dude, I'm talking about like feet with flip-flops are disgusting because it's like this dangly fucking disgusting.
Ew, that sounded so gross. It sounded like a booger was hanging off of a toe. What does that mean? Like you broke your foot and like your
you ever see people like cross their legs? They cross their legs and there's like a dangly flip-flop
on the plane.
Yes, dude. And like
you can't cross your legs on the plane.
Tell that to fucking this person
with pants. I only do that in the exit row.
Okay, that's fair. Or like you put your feet up on the exit row. Yeah. I respect it.
You're actually not allowed to put your feet on the wall in the barrier to the next class, like whatever, the next cabin.
Why not?
I don't fucking know. Still do
it. What the fuck? Ask questions. What are you, such a beta all of a sudden, dude?
You ask forgiveness, not permission, right? I never ask questions.
Another great sentence means nothing.
Okay. It does. No, what do you mean? That's not. Wasn't that Napoleon? No, it was Winston Churchill, I think.
Oh yeah, that sounds about right. Some alcoholic sometime.
My favorite. Oh man, it's so awesome. Like once I got upgraded to first class for free. Just happens sometimes if you're lucky. And I remember like sitting down and then looking back as they closed the curtains to the poor people in the back section right after I just got upgraded from economy for free.
Yeah, great. And you're like, if you worked a little bit harder.
I was like, didn't want these poor people in the back to look at me while I'm flying. Okay, at this point.
Dude, you're probably such a diva in the air with your fucking like. You have an eye mask. I guarantee it.
I'm a simple man. No, I don't use an eye mask. I find this bad for your skin.
The eye mask.
Yeah, I mean, if
Huh.
you use them more than once, so you get like you get eye gunk grease on them, and you put them on again, and then you put the grease, and
Oh,
then you
you're
just have
right.
like a
That's
great mask. Yeah,
I didn't even
you
think
see
about
what I'm,
that.
yeah, you see where I'm going with that.
Kind of
I
okay.
knew
So
I
give
could
me some
appeal to your
tips.
germaphobe. For the plane,
Yeah. What are
charge
the
the
like tips and tricks?
charge the Switch, get a Kindle, absolutely acquire movies legally for the laptop that you can
Okay.
watch on the plane, and
Okay.
then divide your time, and then get 3 vitamin waters depending on how long the flight is. Do 1 vitamin water for every 2 hours. So you don't have to rely on the stewardess to bring you cups of water.
Why? Why vitamin water? That is such a weird
It
inclusion of
tastes
like the
better. It
brand.
tastes better than water. You kind of want to treat yourself on a plane. You can't think totally about your health, right? So it's a nice balance between like you get vitamin water zero. You know, it's
Is this a
flavored.
sponsor?
It's better than LaCroix. It's more full-bodied experience than LaCroix is, which is basically just fizzy bullshit. It's kind of like a cheap beer, honestly. LaCroix without the
Okay,
alcohol.
so
It's like
you're
Bud
wrong
Light
about
without
that.
the class. That's how
You're right,
I would describe LaCroix.
So anyway,
So and then I go with 3 vitamin waters. They're big. They have
Yeah.
the twist off lids, which is important. Cans and stuff, you know, you're committed at that point. You've got to have the tray table down. If there's turbulence, you're hitting the ceiling, and then you're getting Coke all
Yeah.
over your face, right? So
Yeah.
you probably should get. I like the vitamin waters. It's
Why
one
is-
for every 2
You're
hours.
saying vitamin water so much. It's like you got like paid.
Apex
like,
Legends.
Yeah. You know what? I like vitamin water. Be sure to
Vitamin
check
water.
out vitaminwater.com.
Yeah, I like to sneak my I like to sneak the brand deals in. They told me
Yeah.
not to put anything on the stream. They said just naturally bring it up in conversation. You just happened to ask me about my plane plan.
Yeah.
Kindle is good, and then just divide your time up between watching stuff, playing stuff, and reading, and drinking vitamin water.
Always fit in vitamin water.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Get an exit. Exit rows are better value than premium economy.
Right.
Premium
Well, you're
economy,
tall too.
They give you metal utensils, which is okay. That's cool.
That's
Legroom.
exceptional.
It's legroom, dude. It's all about legroom, though.
I
get-
agree. Wait, so
Yeah.
when you're tall, what do you have to sit emergency, right? You can't be like with us.
Being
plebs
tall
and-
is an emergency. Okay, that's what I say when I walk up to the desk. I
Here we
say,
go, playing the victim again.
I have an
Jesus.
emergency. It's me.
Can you imagine saying that to a stewardess? Excuse me, I have an emergency and it's me.
If
Please
you're
move me
tall,
up.
you just walk up to the desk right before you board. Say, hey, like, do you have any extra seats? And they'll always upgrade you if they're free, like for free.
Seriously?
Yeah, always in a non fully packed flight, which sometimes happens.
That's fucking privilege, dude. Are you
Being
kidding
tall, yeah, but it's also a nightmare when you think it's the stress involved and like from
You're
the,
so quick to play the victim, dude. You're like,
It's
"Yo,
hard
those
out here,
people
man."
don't have it."
Yo,
Yo,
the world was
shut up.
built for people like you, Squeaks.
What do you mean, people like me? No, it's not. I'm a pretty tall guy, you know, on average. I'm like
On
not
average,
short.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm like 5'10".
5'10" in heels.
Yeah.
I
I'm an
can
average
see.
height,
I can see
you know?
those shoes. What are those, like an 8.5? In the back?
I'm wearing my inside shoe. Oh, fuck.
Why you wear shoes in the house, man? Aren't you Indian? What's
don't-
wrong with you?
Yeah, I am, dude. I think it's
This guy's
gross.
been in America too long.
I have my inside shoes on, you know? So there's, you have inside shoes, right? Yeah. Oh, boxer.
Yeah.
Where can I get shoes like that?
These are custom Adidas made. Adidas. That Zorin got me for Christmas.
Wait, mine are so gross. Fuck, now that we're at a video podcast.
Yeah, let's see your inside shoes.
So these are nice
Those-
custom
Those like Toms?
yeah, they're like Toms, but they're like UGG material on the inside.
Okay.
So I like to stay. My feet needs to stay in a very nice and furry environment.
Tell
you
us
know?
about your Uggs.
Yeah, so you know the guy in college who's like too cool for school?
Are you going to introduce yourself?
That was not me. It's like the start of a movie. No, like I just like to, UGG around and I thought it looked kind of, cool.
Is that a verb? What's that?
Yeah,
I just Ugg about,
You know when you're lonely, you UGG yourself and then you No, so in college I just wear my Uggs because I didn't want to look like I tried too hard, That was like the look I was going for.
Yeah.
And so I just wore Uggs and sweats and just went to class.
What's the appeal
So-
of wearing man Uggs? Like
They're
why-
super
They're
They're
super
super
comfortable,
fucking
right?
comfortable.
Yeah, they're
like
amazing.
insanely
They're
comfortable.
actually amazing.
You
Yeah.
literally are like every step you're in heaven.
That's
truly.
Yeah. How many times he's gonna say "ugh" this segment?
Go to Uggs.com. Coupon code Squeaks15. 10% off your first 2 purchases. 15 on your third.
Wow.
Uggs.com.
Big discount.
No. Yeah. But I'm down for comfortability over fucking looks every fucking day. For anything.
For anything,
If
yeah.
something's not comfortable, like these headphones are so comfortable. Do they sound good? Yeah, they sound fine.
They're good headphones.
Yeah, they sound great. I mean, listen, relax.
You
But I'm
bought
saying
really
that-
good. That was like one of the most price to value headphones that you can get.
No, and they're great. But these things have lasted
I
forever.
said 598 sound okay. That's what he just said.
I said they sound great, dude. What are you? Like,
You
relax.
totally corrected yourself when I put the pressure on.
I know you did. I'm such a fucking beta all of a sudden. They're fine. Like there's definitely a newer version, right? That's a little bit better, but I'm just saying these are fucking,
Have you not
they're
had
super-
headphones? What other headphones have you had in your past?
I have Bose QC 15, 3
Yeah.
QC something
Got it.
right over there. Trust me. And then I have Sound Sports.
You
I
just ordered those, yeah.
Oh, I had the shittiest pair of headphones ever. One of my first gaming headphones. Fuck. It was so bad. It was a Fatality headphones.
Oh, I knew you were gonna say the Fatality headphones. I don't know why. You guys didn't. Me and
Go ahead.
Squeaks played with Fatality in matchmaking.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
fucking right. This was a long time ago. And
Yeah.
remember, we both added him because like he just like was not even streaming or anything. He was just like playing by himself.
Chilling, yeah.
And I'm like, holy fuck, it's Fatality.
Yeah.
I think, were you even streaming at this point? I don't
think
remember.
so. No.
We
I
both
mean,
added him and he added you and he didn't add me. And we just kept playing with him. Whenever I'd bring it up, he would respond. Fucking what's his name? Jonathan Wendell or some shit, man.
I don't know.
He's the first gaming millionaire, bro.
Oh,
And
is
he
that
didn't
right?
Yeah.
Whoa.
But that's
Wait,
why he did all that hardware deal. He was the first like pro gamer that really pursued his deal with like gaming hardware.
but everything he made
like
was
that-
trash, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was terrible. It was like
terrible.
a marketing genius. And I was like a little fucking baby boy. I was like, oh my God, like Fatality wears these. And I just bought this shitty headphones and they're literally plastic. I still have them
Wow.
in California. I need to save them, but they're just hot garbage. Like they're actual, like, it's like how in a Happy Meal in McDonald's, the cheap fucking plastic, not even like okay looking plastic. It's the cheapest shit ever. Like it makes a noise when you touch it. Like, it's like a rattly fucking. It's horrible. Everyone should buy it.
Speaking of Walmart, I have one story where I took the. Okay, so there's like the baby things, the baby trays that they roll around in McDonald's. That
Right.
you like just you can put a baby in and it has a little tray so they can put their food on it and stuff. So there's like the plastic cover over that. So I took that and I took a game that I wanted to return that was too old to return, and then I put it over the game, and then I sealed it with a lighter, and then I returned it to Walmart when I was like 14 or something, and I tried to return it as like a brand new game,
Yeah.
and yeah, you could smell
Are you
that it was
admitting that?
burned. Yeah.
You scammer, bro.
He smelled that it was burned on
So you
the
got caught.
outside. Well, I just denied it because like if I'm obviously just going to be as loud as possible to make sure this guy thinks he's crazy. Because who would do
Yeah.
something like that? You know,
That's
Who
some
would be
fucking serial
that
killer
much
shit.
of an idiot. Yeah.
That's like if you ever get in trouble, people be like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense." He tried to fucking seal a game in like a baby thing, like that was his very start.
It was honestly creative genius, and there's just something special about that. But you know
You
what
think so?
I learned is that from that moment, it's like got away with it. That you should always yell as loud as possible in every situation. The other day, I was trying to go up to the sauna in my condo that they just built, and
Yeah.
for some reason, you need like a key to get, or you need to press the intercom to get into it because there's like a
Sure.
pool hall and then like a meeting thing baked in, so they only let people in if they booked it. But you don't book the sauna; it's just it's a fucking sauna, right? So he's like, yeah,
It's the most
he's like,
bougie sentence I've ever heard.
it's a goddamn sauna. You know? Do you have a sauna in your
my
building?
sauna in my condo.
Do you have a sauna in your building?
No, fuck no.
Dude,
I
honestly,
wish.
other buildings, dude, you don't even have to be in a bougie place in Toronto. Every single building has a concierge, fucking amenities. It's insane.
Damn,
Yeah.
I need to move to Toronto, I
Yeah,
guess,
it's a nice
that
place.
sauna.
We don't have
Yeah.
earthquakes.
Well, we don't.
Yeah, you don't, but you could still. You're still on the West Coast. There's tons of
Yeah.
danger for you, right? North
Oh,
Korea,
sure.
there's North Korea, the waters from Japan. There's tons of shit
Oh,
that could
that's
get to
true.
you, right? The toxic
Fuck.
waters
Yeah.
from the nuclear power plants in
The
Japan,
drought.
the
Too much
drought.
water. Too little water. I don't
Yeah,
know where to stand on this issue,
you'll
man.
probably be underwater soon. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna be Atlantis.
Well, no,
Uh,
I for sure. I don't want that. The West
so
Coast is also very like it's very bougie, but it's also it is kind of fucking expensive and dangerous. So
yeah,
you know, I don't know. I don't really get the appeal.
it's
To be
edgy as
quite
fuck.
honest.
Yeah, it's not really you.
What do you mean?
It's not. Whatever. Up for
Yeah,
interpretation.
not a big fan. If I was to give a review,
I spent every single
great.
day I was alive in California. I was worried
Really?
about the Earth opening up
Dude,
before my eyes.
everyone who's new to California worries about that.
The shit shook.
And then every
I swear to God, my water started vibrating, and I just thought it was gonna be the day after tomorrow. Like, I was like, it's over. Like, it was. Such
Have
a
you ever
good
been
run.
in an earthquake? Have you ever like been in like in any sort
I
of
think I've been
earthquake?
in like 20 now that I've like lived in California, dude. Like, your shit's not
Really?
supposed to shake normally, right?
Yeah, but
In
everything's
life,
built for it to shake, though, right? Like everything's gonna shake all the time.
I don't
That's just fucking.
know, dude. I don't
Like, have
know.
you ever been in like a very serious earthquake?
No. Have you?
Yeah.
Okay, you had an earthquake story. Were you terrified or
Yeah.
what?
Well, I was terrified, but you know how you don't want to look terrified.
And it's
You
a
know what I
fucking
mean?
earthquake. What do you mean?
Yeah, but you want to play.
You want to be the
cool,
coolest kid in the earthquake?
You know, like
It's-
I'll give you a good analogy. Like, say you're at a picnic with your buds. You know,
Yeah.
cute girls are with you, cute guys.
Just
I don't
mind
know.
you, this is going to tie back into an earthquake, by the way. Don't forget. He's going to go on the
No, I won't. And there's like a bee that comes onto, and everyone's like laughing or whatever, but the
Yeah.
bee's like really close to you, and you have to play it cool.
Yeah.
You know, because you don't want to embarrass yourself. It's a fucking bee.
So the bee is
Right?
an earthquake? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. So you're with your friends, you're with your pals, and there's an earthquake coming. You don't want to be like, ha ha ha, we're in California. That's so funny.
Uh-huh.
Secretly, your heart's racing, right? You're like,
Okay.
fuck, I might die.
Yeah.
So it's that sort of scenario. But if there was a big fucking earthquake and I was on the toilet, I'd die. I'd just accept my fate. There's no recovering from
Just
that.
keep
you know?
shitting.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? I can't speed this process up.
You wouldn't even kick out the squatty potty. You just
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't. I'd just sit there and be like, well, fuck it. We're gonna go out the way we came in, just with a bunch of shit. You know?
I'm gonna shit my pants when I die anyway. Might as well get it out clean.
That's right. Yeah,
Uh,
there's certain things I'll just accept my fate.
Wait, so what
honestly.
happened? You were survived an earthquake. You didn't even tell the story.
Oh, it was just so we were in like San Francisco, and like the building was wobbly. You know what I mean? Like, I've never been in a place where the building literally, like, when you're in an apartment or something, like the floor kind of shakes, but the building went left to right. Like it was like fucking
Yeah.
scary. And
That's
that was like
fucked.
it was fucked, right? That's scary as
Okay,
hell.
does an experience like that make you more or less afraid of an earthquake next time?
Probably less.
Yeah,
'Cause
because
I'm
you
like,
know
well,
what the buildings are capable of, and like,
yeah. But that's
Oh,
what
yeah?
the building is supposed to do. Like, that's what earthquake prone buildings do, is they wobble.
you
You know,
trust them.
like that's no. Like, fuck no. I bet you the guy building the fucking shit was drunk as hell or something.
Oh my God, yeah.
I don't trust those hippies.
Who knows, man? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't trust it. But the moving buildings is a good sign. That's what people say. I don't know. But
Yeah.
besides that, California is a great place to live. You know,
Honestly.
you've lived there.
It's fantastic.
It's
It's
a dream.
actually fantastic. If
Yeah.
God, if
See, at
God
one
was
point I
real,
would move
that's
there.
like the weather that He intended humans to be raised in.
Yeah.
And it's like the weather.
Oh,
There's
for
no
sure.
other way to put it.
No, I
But,
agree. Especially living now in like the Pacific Northwest, where it's just always cloudy. You
Yeah.
know, from far away, it's like kind of a meme where you're like, "Oh, haha, it's rainy. That's fine." But then when you actually move there, you're like, "Well, fuck. Now I'm sad. Now I
Yeah.
need vitamin D."
Yeah, it's
Especially for
raining a lot.
like, especially people with darker skin. I feel like we need more of that shit. So
More light or
yeah, more light because we're born to be in like fucking desert. You know, I think.
desert.
You know what I mean? We're born to be in the sun.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to, yeah. I felt like I was on death row when I was going to leave California. So it was just such nice weather, and I was just soaking it up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going for walks every day. It was just amazing. It's
Yeah,
hard to put a
straight.
price on weather, it really is. But California does a good job of making you reconsider, you know, because it is so expensive. to
It's
live down
stupidly.
there.
It's over. It's like, hey, Squeaks, what's the bubble? That's the housing prices in California are fucking through the roof. I don't get how people afford that shit either. People
Yeah,
start their careers there. Like, I don't get that.
tons of people leave all the time.
That's yeah, but that's the move. What? But there's so many new jobs there. It's like, how
Hmm.
does that make sense?
Why
Like,
do
it's rents
why
are
do
so expensive.
why the fuck do these companies? Is it because of the weather? Like every company wants to. There's like Silicon Valley, then there's like Silicon Beach now, where
Yeah,
Yahoo was, and like all of those tech companies. It's so fucking expensive to not only. Okay, so when I was like negotiating with Yahoo, I was
yeah,
factoring in my living costs, right? So you're thinking about how much money are you going to spend versus how much you're going to take home. That's what your salary is, right? How much can you save from working there? You're going to spend a
yeah,
lot. You're going to spend $15 on a breakfast burrito, right? You spend $15 on a fucking breakfast burrito when you're in a rush, and on a
yeah.
bad day. You're gonna have to spend. You're gonna probably normally I have to get a car, or you're gonna Uber everywhere and to pretty long distances. Then just everything is like very expensive, like drinks,
Yeah, I don't
everything.
get it. I really don't fucking get it. And you'd think places like Silicon Valley, like internet companies that are so global and shouldn't matter geographically where you live, the
Yeah,
fact that they've congregated in one area is like the ultimate irony, right? It's
right.
like these companies were like literally they're run remotely, run on the internet. They basically do it like fucking work in the internet. Then everyone congregates in one area and rents out of the fucking roof. Makes no
Yeah,
fucking sense. Like I just don't understand that.
yeah,
I, I, I don't
yeah,
know.
and so everybody's salaries are also higher because they're probably doing the same thing and
Yeah.
anticipating that they're going to spend a bunch of their money and they're only going to take home so much. So they need to ask for more money. So then they end up spending more on the people who live there. Uh, the only thing I can think is there's probably going to be less relocation because they're all like if they hire new people, they might just be people from the company across the street.
Yeah,
I
but I
don't
mean
know.
they're paying such high salaries too. Like
Yeah,
it's almost like a competition, but it drives like the poorer people out. Like I
yeah,
think the average salary is so fucking high there, but what happens is when like say a division breaks down at Google or Yahoo or fucking whatever, then like who's going to replace them, right? There's just a
hmm,
bunch of renters looking for fucking a quick buck. It makes no sense. That's one thing that I stay away from is housing because it's the
yeah,
most unpredictable shit ever. You just don't know. Like
yeah.
then there could be an earthquake,
It could all
right?
come
Then
down
what
one
happens?
day. Yeah,
Yeah. So it's like who fucking knows?
dude,
And then
San
you
Andreas is
screw
a
yourself.
thick fucking crack in the world.
Yeah.
And one day it is going to come apart. It's going to come apart more than once. You know,
That scares the shit. That's pretty scary.
it's going to
Not gonna lie.
destroy Los Angeles. It will,
Yeah.
and there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, they could build low, and they can build earthquake-proof buildings. But an 8.0, like an 8.0 in the center of Los Angeles, people are
Or
gonna
more.
fucking die, dude. And the worst part is because the news are constantly trying to feed you stories that you're most afraid of because you have to read those.
Yeah.
They're every day they're talking about the last time an earthquake happened and how overdue we are. Every single fucking day they're reminding you the last like 8.0 earthquake did this much damage
Yeah.
and killed this many people. It's been 80 years. We predicted it was going to happen the day after that and then it didn't.
Yeah.
And now we're 80 years late. Like you're
They're
definitely
like, this
getting
just
one
in,
soon.
you're fucked. Oh, this is breaking news. We're all
Yeah.
fucked. We're all gonna die.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard to separate what's actually important and like what's just noise.
Yeah.
That's the big scary thing is like if the news reports on something like that, it's like is it actually potentially a threat, or are they just trying to sell us that fucking esports Adderall fucking shit?
Yeah.
Like are
Yeah.
they really overhyping it? That's what I can't. It's like hard to just draw that distinction a little bit, honestly.
There's an interesting question that pertained to lifestyle. So I don't have much of a schedule when it comes to like you're very specific about how you block your time out in the day and you have
Yeah.
this, this. Wake up at this time, eat at this time, get this work done, whatever. And I don't really live like that. But I know there's so much research about like your body needing routine and everything like that. How much value do you put towards having a schedule and why do you have a schedule and what is your schedule?
Okay, so that's a lot. So I subscribe to basically the science behind a schedule. I think it's super important because once you become like routine and you basically it's very motivating to just hit the fucking, hit your routine every single day. So my schedule in its current state is it's a little unhealthy to be quite honest, but it's something that I can do pretty much every day consistently. So I wake up at around 4:30 or 4, depending on when I have to go into
Yeah, it's
my
4
work.
p.m. like just in time for dinner.
No, a.m. Yeah, right. 4 p.m. dinner, right? So I wake up really fucking early, and then I get to work really early as well, like 5:30 or 5. And then I work for at least 11, 10 hours. So I'll come home around 4:30 or 5 p.m., typically around 5. And then I have 45 minutes to make as much food as I can because I'm super fucking hungry after work. So then I make a ton of food, stuff my face so I don't have to eat on stream, and then turn on the stream at 5:45, end the stream around 9. And then I'll have a snack, chill out for like a few, for like maybe an hour, like in someone else's stream or reading a book or something. And then I go to sleep at like 10:30 or 11. So that being said, I don't get that much sleep, but I try to make it up on the weekends. So I think it's good to have a schedule, but it's also good to be realistic. Like some days, I'll just not stream. Like I'll have to get rid of something. And like knowing me, I'm like, dude, I literally I can't stream today. Like it won't be good. Is what I mean. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to, so I try not to. But it's good to have a schedule, but it's also good to forgive yourself when you can't keep up with that rigorous fucking something rigorous, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like a two-handed sword. And then on the weekend I just do whatever the fuck I want. So
Two-handed sword or double-edged sword?
double-edged sword, dude. I'm playing Dark Souls.
It's not like a one-handed weapon, you know. It takes longer to swing, basically.
Yeah, let's just say my mana's been depleted, okay? Let's just say I'm out of Estus flasks.
Code for getting tired.
Yeah,
With a wine
go.
kicking in. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's a two-handed sword. That's hilarious.
Double-edged,
So you
whatever.
didn't say what the value is of having a schedule.
Yeah, I mean the value is that every day, if you have like the same routine, then you can block out things that you want to do, right? So I used to have running in my schedule. I run less, but if that's part of your schedule, or like studying or reading, and you're like, oh well, it's 8 p.m. It's time for me to study for an hour, no matter what, right? It's like, well, this is my routine, so I'll get it done. But if you don't have a schedule, then you're just more forgiving. Like you're just like, well, I can do whatever the fuck I want all day. Like freedom can be sort of inhibiting, where like you have so much free time that you don't do anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you block stuff out, then you can for sure get stuff done, is what I find. Even if it's like shitty work, but it's like, well, at 8 I always study, so I'm gonna study.
Did you ever like?
You know?
When was there a point where you weren't productive and then you switched and then realized, or not productive, but you didn't have a schedule, then you switched to having a very rigid schedule and you noticed the results that changed?
Yeah.
Or
Well, I think for sure. I think like in college, the first 2 years I had no schedule, barely went to class. I was fucking cool, man. I was cool squeaks, you know?
you barely went to
How now?
class?
Barely went to class, didn't do shit, and I was like,
Why?
because I didn't want to.
Wow. Wow. You just don't think people are in debt, Squeaks.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, I
people
know.
are in fucking debt. You know, in
How
Denmark,
dare
they
I?
pay you to go to school.
Okay,
You're over
well,
here with
okay,
your
hold on,
fucking
hold on.
freedom and paying with your own goddamn money.
No, but I got good grades, so I was really good. I just didn't go to class. I was playing the game. I'm really good at like tests, which is why I think I'll be great at Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Anyway, so I'm really good at like test taking, which is a skill, but I was trying to game school.
Wait, what's so hard about test taking?
No, I thought it was easy. I thought it was fucking easy. Like I knew how to study for a test. I
Okay.
didn't know how to study to learn. So there's like a big difference. You know what I mean?
You just memorized?
Exactly. Like my short-term memory was really good.
Yeah.
So before a test, I just read the book, not go to class, and do
Yeah.
really well. And I'm very lucky to have that ability. I just
Yeah.
super lucky. Bullshit. And then like I realized I just don't retain any information. Like my first 2 years were just like I got good grades, but I was stupid as fuck. You know, I don't know anything. I was like, dude, I'm
Yeah.
like 2 years into this. So that's when I started taking it seriously, and like no matter what, instead of just studying for a test, I just studied to learn. Like
Mhm.
no matter what, like I was in the fortunate opportunity to be able to go to school. Like I'd be a fool not to actually, like if I'm going to show up anyway, I might as well learn something truly.
Yeah.
That's why I signed up for classes I was truly interested in, regardless of difficulty. I signed up for like everything that I could if I had an intellectual inclination towards it.
Sure.
It's like, fuck it, I'm going to learn computer science. I'm going to learn physics. I'm going to learn everything.
It's-
and then
it's
just get
also-
my econ degree.
It's way more fun to do school when you actually care. You know, everyone wishes
Agreed.
they could, and the best way to do it is just put more time than you were willing to commit originally into it. Clubs,
Yeah.
spending more time on campus, reading, studying more. That makes it more fun. At first, it seems like, why would I ever do that to my life? but it actually, it's like making work making work enjoyable is great, and it's also so good for something that is not it's not gonna be a big part of your life in terms of time, but it is an
Mhm.
important part of your life that you won't ever experience again.
Yeah, so I have a question for you in the
Yeah.
same vein. Like you're pretty entrepreneurial, so how do you like schedule your time, right? Do you like have some sort of routine, or are you just sort of free flowing, creative?
I just think about well, there's a really good book called The Art of War, or The War of Art, and it's about how a lot of people who are creative. I think you've mentioned this, but you talked about how you people like to rely on motivation, but motivation is fickle, and that's
Hmm.
true. And this book says that same thing about creatives. There's a lot of painters like I just don't have the stream of consciousness right now. I'm my fucking scarf that I need to create art or whatever the hell, right?
Sure.
And that all that shit is bullshit. They need to work just as hard as somebody who thinks with their left brain. They're logical and reasonable and all that stuff. And maybe those people are
Totally.
just better at scheduling and stuff like that. And that's just not something that's common to art. But it is important to getting shit done, which is the commonality between a great artist and a great scientist. Two kind of
Definitely.
different types of people. But the way I do is I'm pretty loose. I think I have like time off, but I look at my life as chunks of out of a year, as opposed to like a day to day or week to week schedule. These are
Mhm.
the overarching goals that I have. I want to get this video done. This is how fast I want to do it, so I have time to do maybe another one after it, or I want to get this many streams in. But I'm never too strict about anything. If I want to run, then I run. I usually what I do to if I want to run is I say I'll take anything that I have that day. I have an important meeting, or I want to stream, or I'm gonna do something productive like write a script and I need to be focused. Then I'll run. I'll be motivated to run, and then I'll go do it. So I'll use that as a means to an end, as opposed
Sure.
to just run for the sake of running. And then I just try to pepper in as many things into my schedule in the week as possible. And then I don't have any trouble doing all of that stuff. And then otherwise, I don't have anything rigid. Um, I think if I didn't drink, I would be able to have a schedule. Like that is the
Really?
number one thing that I can like if I hang out with my friends, like I always block out time to hang out with my friends. Like
Yeah.
as a priority. Like so many people that I know have just like lost their way because they don't have real friendships at home. And I think it's just so
Hmm.
important, and I never want to lose that. And throughout my life, I've always had really good friends. But with that comes drinking, and I go bolder with my friends. I do productive things, and we've kind of changed and evolved, and are moving on to more fun and athletic goals or whatever it is, healthier stuff.
Sure. Sure.
But we still spend the night drinking, and that just erupts your sleep schedule completely. There's no way to come back from that if you end up drinking until like 4 or 5 a.m. on a Friday night. You know?
So what benefit? So like so you mentioned a lot, and I like your emphasis on real life friends. And
Mm-hmm.
like, but with that is a two-handed sword, which is a double-edged sword, right? Where you're
It's a
saying
sword you
that
must pick up
with
with both arms.
right, exactly, right? But you're saying that with friendship comes like inclination to drink as well. Like what? So that being said, would you say that like what benefit would you say comes from having like a friend? Like what does that do for you in terms of your productive capacity?
It keeps me grounded. I think the main reason I do everything I do is so that I can brag to my friends about it when I do it.
Sure.
And real life friends are the best version. I think a lot of people who like stream and stuff, they get to brag to their audience, but then it's very unfulfilling because they don't know if people actually care about them or not. But I know my friends actually care, so it's actually nice to be able to tell them to make them proud, or to be able to brag about something I did. Or honestly,
Right.
I don't know if I would even be motivated to do anything if not for my real life friends.
That's really interesting.
I'd
Ooh,
probably
so
be
like why do you think streamers are so sad? Do you think that's related?
It's just so empty. It's just fucking empty. It's the peanut without the shell. Or the peanut with no it's the peanut shell without the nut.
Okay, I'm
It's
allergic to
a
peanuts, but
it's an
we'll let
milk.
that stand.
Yeah, it's a killer is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, I get it now.
You'll go nuts if you don't have real friends is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but what's so shallow about it in particular?
Well, it's just that it's just not complete human interaction. It's a
Yeah.
farce in some senses. It's there, it serves a purpose, And I think your brain gets tricked into thinking it's real sometimes, and then that's when it gets bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair too. Like if you're ever like everyone feels lonely once in a while, right? Like you're
Yeah.
home alone, you feel a little lonely. It's like even though like I don't have like a big audience, like obviously I'll turn on the stream if I'm ever lonely, you know?
Yeah.
Where I'm like, oh, I can just hang out by clicking two buttons.
Yeah.
Turn on my computer and turn on
Yeah. And
Streamlabs.
we,
You know what I
if we
mean?
have 10 people watching, right? It's innocent enough. It's innocent enough. um, yeah, it just does really become a problem when it's you wake
Yeah.
up, you stream, and then you go to sleep, and then you wake up and you stream, and you go to sleep.
Yeah,
That's
because you
bad.
need that human
That's
interact.
bad.
I totally
Your brain
agree.
gets fucking tricked. Your brain
Yeah.
gets tricked.
But that's what's crazy is like people from the offset, including me, I'm like, I see a streamer and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Like they turn on their like that. What a lifestyle. That's amazing, right? They're making a
Yeah.
ton of money. They turn on their stream and they're just super funny.
Yeah.
And then they go to sleep. I'm like, what a life. That's amazing. But I
Yeah.
think there's a lot of things that we overlook. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of like of the ugly sides of it. And I think
Okay.
it's interesting that a lot of streamers are vocalizing that right now.
No matter what you do in your life, no matter how much you ever accomplish, the goalpost will always move. There will always be a new challenge, a new goal, a new set of expectations for yourself. The farther you get along, you go from 100 followers to 1,000 followers to 10,000 followers. That shit seemed so far in the distant future when you first started that you thought I'd be happy when I get there. But when you get there, then you start thinking 100K. I'm nothing unless I'm 2, 3, 4, 500K. I can do that. I'm here now. I need to like multiply. I did the hard part already. The goalpost moves, and that applies to everything in life. You will always feel unfulfilled if you ever become complacent, no matter what you do, right? And so the difficult part is like what's your streaming? You become a great big streamer, and your goal. What's your goal? You know, is your goal is not to make money anymore. I mean, you might want to make a lot of money so that you can achieve other things. That's cool, and then you could just look at it as a job. That might actually be healthier than turning on your stream and then doing it because you just feel like this is what your life is going to be like, and then not knowing why outside of that, right? Everything's just going well, you're playing games, but now you turn off your stream, you start to think in your head how many subs you're losing. Like, that's not fucking good for you. You have to be doing it for some purpose or for some reason or creating like a new challenge for yourself. And then all the while, I mean, extremism brings great success, right? For people, you go psychotic doing what you love or what you want or trying to achieve your goal, and then you're probably most likely to get there, and then you lose something in return, right? You lose either your sanity or you wear down your body if it's a labor job, or you whatever the thing is, right? You always lose something with that kind of manic like approach to whatever your goal is. But sometimes it's worth it. It just depends why. And you see, like, I don't know, I guess with streaming, I think the thing with streaming is just it doesn't seem like it's going to wear down on you in any way. You know, it doesn't seem like it. That's why it's just a big trick. It honestly feels like.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And we had this conversation earlier, but that's what I hate about like this hustle porn idea of like, oh my God, just fucking grind, give up sleep, give up your health, give up your friends in order to achieve your dream. But it's like your dream can change every day, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like your dream is fickle, but your friendships are like last forever. Like your family is super important. And those are things you really crave once you like really commit to something.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like super sketched out about giving like a rigid schedule, because I'm like, no, there should be some time for you to do nothing. Like call your mom, you know, like things that you wouldn't schedule, like, you know, hang out with your friends, like randomly, you know, go on a road trip randomly, do shit like that. That's off your schedule. So while I think a schedule is important, like I'm going to be kind of a big hypocrite and say, I also think having segmenting out time of like just bullshit is important as well. So like when you're in college, work really hard, but also like drink a lot, you know, like hang out with your friends a lot, like give yourself time to just be a fucking moron, because you'll lose that. And I feel like that's where so much important shit is developed, and that'll make your streams really good. Oh, this is an intervention.
You just did that too well. You know, you're always overachieving, and this time it bit you in the ass.
Oh yeah. No, but I feel like some people lose that. Like I like, it's really sad because there's some really fun, cool people, but their dream of being like an entrepreneur or their dream of being like whatever, it overtakes their friendship. You're like, man, like, dude, I wish you took yourself just a little less seriously. You know, like, I wish we could just like drink together or like something, you know?
Yeah.
But I agree. I think some people lose sight of that when their dream is on the line. And especially if it's as easy as just hitting go on Streamlabs, right? It's a little too easy. There's not enough friction.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of things, and I also try to think about how little time in human history we've had to be able to instantly communicate with like thousands of people at once, and like,
Yeah.
also get personalized feedback towards you. Like, there's no way our brains are ready for that all of a sudden, you know? Like
No.
our whole life is our bodies catching up to our brains. I think that's part of the reason that schedules work really well, because so much stuff about how if your body knows when you're going to go to sleep, you'll start to power it down 30 minutes before that, every day, or you can wake up before
Yeah.
your alarm, right? Your body is slower than your mind, and it slowly likes to get accustomed to these routines so that it can get prepared in ways that you don't see on the surface. And you can constantly throw
Sure.
shit at it because your mind can think at a million miles per hour, but your body can only go so fast. It's limited to like physical limitations. And with like all of this, like I think there must be some kind of really bad and strange impact of being able to mass communicate instantly 24 hours a day with everyone around the world for and especially if you're in the position that you're interacting with people who are either your fans or your enemies in droves, just
Yeah.
millions of people instantly. Like how could anything have prepared us for that leading up
Yeah.
to this small point in history that we were like just born into,
Yeah,
Not
it's
how.
fucked up. That's so fucked up, and that's such
Yeah.
an interesting way to put it. Like, especially with some of these streamers that they are clearly like mentally decaying, And
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. It's like you're watching someone. It's almost like in a reality TV. Like there's a degree of separation.
Yeah.
Millions of people are participating and enjoying this guy or a
You don't
girl.
ever just bust out the twister and play by yourself?
That's only on Saturdays. Drunk stream.
Oh, guys, I'm really
Twister.
tired today. I'm not gonna turn on the stream. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like you're watching someone, who's like mentally decaying, and we're basically being entertained by someone who's clearly not in their wits and is slowly decaying because of the interaction with chat.
Hmm.
It's funny from an offset. Like when we're watching someone do that, it's like, oh my god, this person's like, ha ha ha, he punched his monitor. It's hilarious. But then it's like, dude, this is like
I
fucked
love
up in the
that,
long
dude.
run. Yeah.
I went up to Summit at DreamHack Austin. I was like, that was so fucking alpha when you punched your monitor, dude. That's
It was
hilarious.
dope. Yeah, it was so dope. It was so dope.
I do like when someone feels like they can be honest about the way they feel. I think that takes some level of bravery, and sometimes it's obnoxious, and sometimes people would do that because they realize that that reaction is actually really popular with people. They like want to see that to some degree.
Yeah,
But I think it's nice when it's not something that you see all the time. That it's like he was just really frustrated. It's bent up,
sure.
and yeah,
No,
there's
maybe
honesty.
not punching them on, but there's some fucked up shit. Like there's some fucked up things that people do on Twitch. That is like, it makes them money, but it's like, oh god, like why? It's not worth it.
Mhm.
Like don't stream this. Is what I want to like shake someone in an IRL section with the fucking
Yeah,
speaker on their backpack. I'm like, well, you don't have to go to this extent. Like,
yeah.
be confident in you as yourself. Don't be confident in like some
Speaks like you're
fucking.
trying to save streamers.
I am. No, because it's so sad. It's like what a plead for help, if anything. Like what
Yeah.
an absolute plead for attention. It's
Yeah.
like I'll do anything. I'm gonna just incriminate my name. I'm gonna put my face out there and do the worst shit ever. It's like no, like don't do that.
Yeah.
Just grind.
Yeah.
You don't have to put like naked pictures of yourself to get attention. Like just
Yeah.
be you. I don't
it's
know.
Jackass on steroids. I think
Exactly.
yeah. I mean and there maybe was a certain type of person. I don't know how. I don't know. Like some people were. I guess like at that point, like Jackass was like pre-recorded videos. They made like full length
Yeah.
stuff for MTV and whatever. And that was people just like literally hurting themselves, anything for views, like doing anything for views. That was the original concept, right? And then
Yeah.
there was like backyard wrestling, or people getting thrown off onto like tables in their backyard. That was like hugely popular in videos. And now it's just live, right? And now it's just so much competition, and so you've just got to be the most extreme thing possible.
Yeah, but that's when it goes to a really ugly place. Like
Yeah.
when it's live, that's when it can go off the rails.
Yeah.
Like I'm be curious to see what they'd cut from Jackass.
At least
But I'd
we're
be
part of the
eating-
final frontier, though, right? So they can't get any. Well, it's live, I was gonna. We can have like
I don't know.
holograms jumping off buildings or something. Like,
I mean, what's next is a Twitch plays person.
ooh, Twitch plays AI.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's what's next, right? Like
Holy
you
shit.
can control something. That is just, it freaks me out. That stuff is fucking freaky.
AI is fucking freaky.
It
AI
sure
is
is.
fucking freaky.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not ready
scary.
for that.
Oh, I am. I'm gonna be allies with them. We'll take over.
Dude, what if there's just like I don't know, man. Anything it's crazy how much shit you can do by yourself. There's like some kid in his basement that hacked the Pentagon, you know? Like there's
nerd.
some nerd, some kid, some geek who like taught himself how to do this.
Yeah.
And hacked like there's like there's so much power to an individual with a computer and internet, right?
Yeah.
Even to hide yourself. Even just the art of hiding yourself so that you can do stuff from your computer.
Like VPNing and stuff is crazy. But have you seen the OpenAI shit? The Dota 2 OpenAI.
Yeah.
Like where they that's crazy to me that they can program something to play a game like Dota.
Yeah. They're doing
like,
it with StarCraft too.
That's insane. Like that's just like so freaky. Could you see a world where we have a league of AI people that are programming?
Well,
and, like that are programming.
Okay, well we did that in Counter-Strike. We did bot tournaments.
That's different.
Those were funny. You know, those were funny. And technically that is just some very rudimentary AI. It was shitty, but it kind of served the same it kind of fulfilled like the same kind of like demographic, I guess, of people who would watch, which is just
Wait, did you stream that?
The bot competitions? No, those were like hosted by tournaments. Like they were and people would place money on the bots and stuff. I
could have swore that your gameplay looked like that too.
Oh, good one. Yeah, it's a slow burn. See how it didn't make any sense to me? You see how it didn't make any sense to me? All right. The bot world championship.
As I drink my wine. I love this video thing, man. I can just be such a douche. And you have to see my fucking stupid ass face.
Yeah. How hard did you pour that again?
Sorry?
How high did you pour that again?
Like
He was
right
so
here.
proud before we started of how he was working on it. You can't even hold your fingers still.
Yeah, I can. See? It was like up here, just a little bit.
Okay.
See?
All right, we got a wine check. What was I gonna say? Oh, do you know the story with the Dota OpenAI?
I know generally about it, but
do you know who Sumail is?
No.
Sumail, the EG player, so this is crazy. So they did it's kind of an aside, but it has to do with the OpenAI. So that's I think it's machine learning or deep learning or whatever, deep learning AI company from San Francisco that Valve beckoned upon to make some cool fucking bot that could play mid lane mirror matchups versus pros in Dota. And then they used it not as part of a show match and also training thing to put on a show at TI. And then they played against all of the pros with the OpenAI, and the only pro so every pro got 2-0'd by the OpenAI in the mirror matchups, and there's one pro who didn't, and he 2-0'd the OpenAI, the only one in the world. And
really,
he is the youngest player to ever win TI. And he also won the TI and the second biggest tournament in Dota in the calendar year in his first year of being a professional player. And he instantly became a millionaire at 16. And
what the fuck?
Yeah,
Sumail is his name?
Yeah, he's Pakistani. And there's a story with him was that he sold his bike for more money to play at the internet cafe in Pakistan. There's probably not even a real Dota scene. He's just basically the best player to ever touch the game, and the only one who could beat like a fucking machine learning AI.
That's it. How have I not heard of that story?
Isn't that cool?
That's
so cool.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Like someone. Wait. So who do you think do you think there's an equivalent in Counter-Strike?
To Sumail?
Yeah.
No.
To that degree? No, you don't.
No.
Sumail is like a unique.
Yeah. No. I mean, I don't know, man. It's really there's so much parity right now with like. There's so much parity between like people who see the game as a team game and people who don't.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Like in basketball,
so what do you mean by that?
Because in basketball, people call LeBron fans bronzesexuals because they'll like rationalize everything about like LeBron's accomplishments, and they have to tear down people who have had good results to be able to contextualize Bronze's losses and allow you to rationalize that he's the best player of all time. I think at the beginning and end of the conversation is I think this is the best player of all. This player in whatever game or sport or whatever is the best player of all time because to me he looks like the best fucking player of all time. And if you get into the results, it gets so hairy and so ugly, and a
Yeah.
conversation that will never end. And there's always different ways to spin it, no matter what the circumstance is. And like with Simple, like he had a bad major final. He's not won a major, which is just, I mean, how could that not be a prerequisite for being the best player of all time, right? Like that's, unfortunately, it's a team game though, and that's the problem. It's more so not that you don't want to give Simple the title. It's more so that you don't want to take the title away from someone like Olaf, who's won 3 fucking majors. How can you do that to somebody who's won 3 majors? What if they were so sacrificial to their team to allow them to play better that they got to a major that Simple couldn't, or something like that? That's not something that I can't even say about Simple, because I don't know if that's true, and it's totally possible his teammates are actually just garbage and are too inconsistent for him to do well with, or whatever. But we just don't know that stuff. So that's why it's like,
totally.
Results is maybe king, but if you feel like someone is the best player of all time, it's the eye test. But don't fucking tear down other players because of that. It's not fair.
No, I agree, and I think that's a big problem with like HLTV, like top player.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you quantify that?
Yeah.
There's no fucking thing that you can do to make it be like, there's no unanimous vote for one player. Like there just can't be, because skills fucking vary, and it's like, do you base it off of a major win? Do you base it off of recent wins? It's like, who fucking knows?
Yeah.
So I think that's a good point.
Yeah, like so well, the funniest thing about that with HLTV is that they have a rating for individuals. They have a point rating. Like, okay, like Simple has the highest point rating from last year. Now you just say like LAN results versus good teams, and it's still the highest. So there you go. You could say maybe he's the best player based on that rating for HLTV.
Yeah.
Then why the fuck is it even a question? You take the 20 highest ratings and no one has to do any science. But then they ended up weighting it against results as well, which is where it gets too fucking hairy. It's not fair.
Yeah. I think that hurts players as well. Like,
of course, dude.
And like, just think about it. Just the way we metricize like RWS as well.
Yeah.
Like early on in Source, to get recognized or to get like found out to be on a pro team, the first metric they would look at is RWS, which is so inherently flawed.
It's toxic.
I don't know. Yeah, it is. No, but it's not even flawed in like a funny way. Like, I'm not saying that like in a DMG way. I mean, like, no, it's actually flawed for pro players, because it totally skips over all these essential roles in pros, like support players or like anything. And so it's harder to be discovered as a support player or as even an opper, I would say, versus like just an all-star. So I think that when it's very important, and it's important to be deliberate about how we're looking at the value of players. Because if you value RWS, you're just going to get a fucking team of puggers, right? You're not going to get a team of pros where they value like someone who knows their smokes versus someone who knows how to support. Like,
yeah, it's much harder for them to float to the top, for sure. The only great equalizer is that maybe all of the talent will only be found that way. So besides some of the legacy talent that maybe had a better way to do it. But now it's like FPL and Rank S. So that is specifically players who were the best performing individuals in pugs on their way through A+ to whatever, at like an FPLC or whatever it is.
And it's not a perfect system, but it's the best we've ever had, right?
The best we've ever had,
yeah. So I hate complaining about it, but even that's still puggers, right? Like those are still, but there's some great puggers out there. But I just think that there still needs to be a way for some sort of IGL or something to be discovered.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like, you're going to be, that's why we have so many older players still relevant in their IGL or support fucking phase from way back in 1.6 that are still fucking gods,
Yeah. There's some interesting conversation about nepotism when it comes to players. And people always wonder, why do you recycle players? Like, why do you play with this guy who you know is never going to win you a major? Why does that always happen?
Yeah.
Because people are too scared with unknown quantities, and it's so much easier to play with a player who knows what to expect when they know how to be a pro. They know how to do everything except hit shots, right? And it's like, oh, it's so hard to turn that down sometimes. But that applies to so many things outside of Counter-Strike too. Nepotism is everywhere.
And like, think about it from like, if you were the CEO of Cloud10, the next Cloud9 team, and like you were looking for a team of 5, you wouldn't choose fucking 5 randos. You would choose like 5 people that can conduct themselves in interviews, who can like be professional. That's the most important thing. Yeah. Right. So like, I'd be the same way. I'd totally be, maybe morally gray and hire the same fucking people who know how to be in front of a camera.
Yeah.
So it just makes sense. And even like from a business perspective, I'm not going to hire the most qualified. I'm going to hire someone who I can sit next to,
Hmm.
right?
Did
Because that's the reality.
Did you play sports when you were younger?
Yeah, I played soccer pretty competitively, which helped me a lot in Counter Strike. Funny enough.
Shit sport.
Excuse me?
My favorite thing to do is my favorite thing to do is go on Bleacher Report. My favorite thing to do is go on Bleacher Report's Twitter and just
Yeah.
say not a sport to everything. And then people get so
Oh.
mad, and then they look at my profile like, "You think e-gaming's a fucking sport? What? Fucking asshole? What's wrong with you?" I just say like
what the fuck?
soccer, everything. I just go not a sport. I just say not
It's
a
a
sport.
sport.
That's it.
It's a sport.
I
What do you
think-
mean? It's the
I'm
best. It's
fucking
the hardest
trolling,
sport.
dude. Look, you're the guy
Fuck
that I'm
you.
making angry. You're the guy that replies to me that I'm so happy to hear get mad. That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Did you play sports? I'm curious.
I did track and field. I did high jump, 400 meter, 800 meter, cross country. Like this was like 2 kilometers when you were younger.
Oh shit. Yeah, that's
and then
crazy.
I did that for like 6 or 7 years. And I started smoking weed,
And that everything went
and
downhill.
everything went downhill. Yeah.
So
I
do
did
you think
I
that
did
helps?
gymnastics. I did taekwondo. I did.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I did a bunch of shit. I played a lot of basketball. Played badminton.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's great. So do you think like having a vast experience in a multitude of sports helps you in terms of like Counter Strike? Because I feel like there's so many pro gamers out there who are like very, very good at something else before. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like the skill like that I see that's most transferable is like the art of knowing how to learn something from scratch is what I
Sure.
see in like people, just like the skill of learning how to learn. So
Sure.
would you agree with that and say like your other skills would be transferable into Counter Strike?
Yeah, I think the number one thing that I learned, like I noticed immediately, was when I played StarCraft when I was like 12, 13,
Yeah.
where I was able to make decisions faster than everyone I knew, and I didn't like in real life, and I didn't understand
Yeah.
why people took so long to make a decision. So I was so used to going home and queuing up, and it being life or death if I didn't make the right decision quickly enough.
You were
And
microing in real life, dude.
exactly.
You're spamming the keys,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. It just
No, I
completely
agree with
translated to real life instantly.
That's
Yeah.
why, like, if I was to make like a company right now, the first fucking group of people I would look at are gamers.
Yeah.
Like not even a trolley way, like truly, because I feel like maybe motivation fluctuates with gamers quite a bit, but I mean like I feel like when one person is willing to sit in one place and grind something out to the point of like it's no longer a game,
Yeah.
they just want to be good at something. There's something there, like there's some competitive inclination.
It's universal. Yeah.
It is. It truly is. And that's why I think like those who can do really well in track and field, badminton or whatever, can do really well in other things.
Yeah.
But I wish people took that seriously. Like that's why I wish like a lot of the people who play Counter-Strike at a top level also took like schooling, tried to make that at a top level too, right? Like do your homework and be the best in class as well. Because you can that helps as well. You know, just learning how to do your homework can also help you learn how to do well in scrims, which
Yeah.
doesn't seem connected, but just the act of sitting down and doing something
Yeah.
and like being really good at it and completing it, then you scrim, you're like, fuck, I can do anything. You know?
Of course. I mean, and also like think if you wrote like 10,000 words a day, something crazy like that, then if you had to, then you had to do that on punishment for a month straight, and then the next day you woke up, you could write 1,000 words without blinking an eyelash. But writing 1,000 words for people who don't write every day might kind of be a big challenge. Like they might be like 4 pages. Like I gotta like
Yeah.
commit to this. I don't even know how to do it. But if you are so used to having a good work ethic that comes with wanting to accomplish something that's hard to do, then that transfers over into having an easier time getting a lot more done than the next guy. You know. So I think
I
that
agree.
comes with the dedication too. And I think that one of the most valuable things as well is the getting used to sacrifice when it comes to wanting to achieve a super long-term goal, like learning a full
Yes.
esport. You know, we look at kids who have 400 hours in Counter-Strike, and they look like toddlers, and they look around with their mouse. You can instantly tell that they're trash, right?
Yeah.
And that's crazy. That's 400 hours, and you still look like complete shit.
And that's a
right?
long time.
That's a long
That's
time,
long
man.
time. Yeah.
I would be curious to think even how many hours would you spend in lecture in a school year?
Nowhere close to that.
Nowhere close to the amount of time you'd spend playing Counter Strike or learning, or the amount of time it would take to get good in it, good at the game. Like it's an insane amount of dedication. It's just fun. That's why like you can do it more easily.
True. And then with the fun comes a bunch of bullshitters who
The
just play
fun
it
is the
because it's fun.
honeypot, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Then you like if you're having fun and you may not be practicing well, you know,
Yeah.
it's some parts of it shouldn't be fun if you're trying to make it your career. I don't,
Yeah.
it's kind of weird to say, but it's true. I think I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I think that's with anything, you know,
Yeah. There's
even with like basketball.
what do you mean with basketball?
Like if you just continually go out to fucking one-on-one with your best friend, you're never gonna get better. Like push yourself and become uncomfortable and become like make it work. You know, pretend like you're already there and keep practicing like you are. It is your job.
Yeah.
And then hopefully one day, if you're lucky, it will be.
You can be pro at Fortnite and win one of the $30 million that will be handed out July
Every week.
26th. No, literally 30 million for the one weekend, I think.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
absurd.
You get $50,000 just for qualifying to the LAN.
Is that okay? So is that the right direction for a game? Like, do you think this is like?
Well, you want to put in perspective the amount of money that actually is, because I think it was in April, in 15 days, when Fortnite was only launched on iOS, not even Android, they made they made $90 million. They made the amount of money that they needed for the entire next year of the promised prize pool, which is $100 million. In 15 days on only iOS. Only half the population on their cell phones from skin sales. So
that's crazy.
So $30 million is not that much. I don't know how else to put that.
That kinda, yeah. But don't they have like employees and stuff to pay too? But that's true. That's crazy.
They got 60 something devs, something like that. All working on just Fortnite. No other games.
That's insanity. Yeah, that is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It just seems like a lot because like we're not used to that sort of fucking prize pool.
Yeah.
It's all contextual.
Yeah, and that is something that Fortnite, that Epic know that they can still hang over Apex's head for the meantime, at least.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like just the sheer amount of money that's been poured into Fortnite can help Fortnite in a huge way.
Exactly.
I think this is the right step. Like, fuck it, man.
Yeah, they had a board meeting where they're like, fucking, Apex, they beat us to the chase on movement. They fucking thought of respawning. God damn it, everyone's streaming it. Shroud's doing 12 hours a day. He's going to use the new Ninja.
Ninja's streaming it now, too.
We got a fucking bunch of money. You know what I mean? Like, we got so much goddamn money. Like,
He's just smoking a cigar.
Yeah, we can just shit on them like that. We just shit on them with all of our money, you know.
I think this is the right move, dude.
It's a nuke.
That's fucking smart.
It's a nuke, dude.
That's like the international is the same way, right? Like Dota 2, like it's like fuck it. Here's just a ton of money. We're gonna spend a ton of money on production.
Yeah.
And have at it. It's brilliant. This is good. This is also good for us.
Yeah.
Like just more companies spending more money on people like us.
Yeah. Today, I mean, even like at any hour, it's hard to find a situation where Apex had less viewers than Fortnite. But today, Apex had less viewers than Fortnite.
That's crazy.
Like a few hours ago. Kind of weird.
It might be correlated.
That's kind of weird.
I wonder. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
If that's like the prize pool, like $1 million, of course people are gonna play that shit, man.
Yeah.
Like, kind of doubt.
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, what? I can do it. It's just crazy enough that I might win. You know, who knows? Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. It's going to be interesting to see how Apex responds and how Fortnite does, but it'll be quick to like see how quick they iterate upon their own game. But
yeah, but we wish
definitely good moves.
We wish them both the greatest successes. You know, it's just
fuck Fortnite.
They can fight as long as Apex comes out on top.
And they fucking will, man.
I love Fortnite. You think it will? I think it's still. Isn't it even more of an interesting conversation that like I don't know. Like you even said it's not even. It's boring to watch, is what you said, to quote you.
Yeah.
Is it boring to watch? Boring to watch, like even when you watch other people's streams, like Shrouds and stuff like that. Do you get bored?
No. So I think it's boring. So it's like one of those. It's sort of like a tax cut where like the top few percent get like a ton of fucking cash. You know what I mean? Like they get a ton of fucking viewers because they're so good, right? Yeah. It's so entertaining to watch someone who's so talented at it. But for someone who's not talented at it, say like you or whatever. So what happens is, Yeah, so like you know how you're not down. So what happens is then all the viewers flock to those few percentage, but I think that might just be enough. Like it's never the case where like the small streamers can carry a game. You know, it's usually just concentrated in the big streamers that can really make a game flourish and go all the way to the top.
Yeah.
So I think it's enough. And with Apex, it seems like they're willing to iterate upon their base game a lot, like with updates, hopefully.
Yeah.
But I think they're smart. So I trust Apex, and I think it's crazy to say now, but I think eventually over time, Apex will come out on top over Fortnite.
You'd say that?
Yeah.
We should make some kind of prop bet. Do you gamble?
Yeah, I gamble.
Some
Fuck
people
it.
no, some people like do not gamble, you know, but
Really? No,
Yeah.
I mean I'm not above that.
you're not above that? Yeah, we should make some kind of prop bet. Like at what point will we say and how do we quantify it? But I would say I would take Fortnite over Apex in the long term. I would take
You would?
Fortnite. Yeah, I think I would. I don't think
Why?
I think I like playing Apex more than anything right now. But no one's got 5,000 hours in Apex. So I'm betting on the fact that by that point it'll be a true test of their content, the amount of stuff they push out week to week. And I'm betting that Fortnite did a way better job, did such a good job. They set the precedent so high, it'll be quite the challenge for Apex to keep up, even though they get to stand on the shoulders of giants. I think I think there's even a risk of them falling to another random BR, even though they executed so well.
I think you're wrong.
And I don't even want to sway you here.
I think you're wrong. No, I think that's absolutely incorrect. Like,
okay.
Because like just because I think like look at the fan base of Fortnite, right? They're younger.
We like Fortnite.
Yeah, exactly. These are kids who change what they like to wear. You know, who buy different shoes every fucking day, basically, right? Right when they turn 13, they'll make the jump to fucking Apex, a big boy game. Okay.
Oh
right?
yeah,
They're hitting
game
the
for
puberty.
adults.
That's right. You know, they're like, finally, a game that I can show off my skills, right? And then they can be fucking Apex gamers, legends, Apex legends. And then, you know, eventually when people grow up, they'll finally make the better game win. And fight me on this, but I think Apex is the better game. It's just a better fucking game. Like, I don't know. It just, sorry to say it, but
I think
maybe I'm not qualified to say that because I haven't put in hours into Fortnite. But
I think Apex is the best of Black Ops and PUBG. It's the same audiences that will play those games. And also Fortnite people are never opposed. I don't think anybody's really like opposed to slight realism or whatever, but people are somehow abjectly against cartoony graphics. You know, some people will not touch that. But even still, there's so many fucking people that play Fortnite. And it's just I think it's just so deep that I think it'll bounce back, dude. I don't know.
You do? No, I mean, I hope it does. I hope it gives Apex a run for its money. But I do think
you won't be saying that depending on how much we bet, Squeaks. So
I just think Apex is going to be fucking. They're smart. I think Respawn's are really smart in dev.
How much information do you have to go off of there?
Well, I just like the quality of what they release, so I trust them. Right. Epic, come on, you know.
Okay, you sound like a casual. You sound like a casual investor at the moment. You sound like a guy who has too much money, Squeaks. What trial by fire have Apex gone through? It's been out for 2 weeks.
It's a gamble. It's not a good investment. But let's just say, I talk to certain people. Okay, I do my homework. I look at fucking statements, and I'm just gonna say, Respawn, they know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing. Okay,
they know what they're doing, and they're coming out. Look at the fucking. Like, look at their marketing execution. Everything's perfect. They've been perfect. Okay, I wouldn't change a thing.
Hey, they've been perfect for 2 weeks straight. Amazing. Amazing, dude. They've nailed it for 2 weeks.
2 weeks, but
that's hard.
2 weeks,
no, that's hard.
2 weeks in a space where Fortnite
is
like Fortnite is fucking. I wouldn't touch Fortnite, right? If I was like making a game, I'd be like, fuck it, man. Let Ninja try to floss on New Year's Eve. I'm not gonna do that. Like, I don't want to get in that space, man. I can't fight that fire. But maybe we'll do something else, but Apex is ballsy enough to get in that space, and they fucking succeeded. What a successful launch! And I'm fingers are crossed that they fucking keep this up, and hopefully this is like a trend, not a sort of a lightning strike. You know?
Mm-hmm. Is it a lightning strike that Robert Kraft was soliciting prostitutes?
Excuse me.
I was trying to segue. Did you hear about this?
No.
The owner of Kraft.
Kraft cheese?
So the Boston Uprising are an Overwatch League team,
Yeah.
and they're invested in by Kraft, like Kraft cheese, yeah. And Robert Kraft is like 70 something.
Okay, hold on. I'm sorry to interject. I'm
He's
sorry
like
to interrupt.
pushing 100 years old.
His name is Robert Kraft, and he made this company Kraft Cheese.
Do you know what Kraft
Incredible.
is?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay.
Kraft, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, cool.
And
Sorry, continue.
he like solicited. He went to like a massage parlor. I think he's just a little senile, right? So he goes to like a massage parlor, and it's actually just a massage parlor for the first time ever. And he like solicits the
Prostitute.
No. He solicits the women to have sex when they're not prostitutes.
What do you mean solicits? Like, what does that mean? Like, just to pay them?
Yeah.
Wait, so how's that?
Yeah, he handed them processed cheese and then asked if they would.
He has like one line. He's like, sorry to be cheesy.
If Squeaks owned Kraft. Oh, man.
My
You're
one
the
line. I
ultimate
just keep
dad.
going to it every day. Wait, I didn't know that. That's fucked up. So how does that? So did the Overwatch League team be like, we're good with this. We won't put Kraft on our
I actually
fucking
haven't
jersey.
said anything.
But okay,
You set a huge precedent as like a league that's constantly talking and tackling and penalizing people for what they say and do, no matter how nuanced or careful you've got to be at times.
yeah.
This is a big deal, I'd say. To them,
It is,
should be, right?
But we talked about this last time where Coca-Cola was a sponsor, remember? Where they're just taking anything because there's a lot of money.
Yeah.
This is just a fucking side effect of that. This is where it all comes crumbling down, right?
Yeah.
The cheese starts melting, you know what I mean? Like, this is where...
This is where the sword gets so heavy.
This is where it all happens, man. So like this is where like there's so many companies that have no idea what's going on, invest in one thing, and you have so many investors that one of your investors misbehave. Of course they are. Like when the sheer quantity goes up, like I don't fucking trust those guys. Who knows? Who knows what the next scandal is going to be?
Yeah.
You have so much money going in. So would you say that the league is responsible for its sponsors' behaviors?
I think there's a lot of situations where people or sponsors or companies get dropped because of pretty much the same thing happening. Like there was an owner of a basketball team that told his girlfriend, he was like much older than her, right? And then he told his girlfriend to like not hang out with black people or talk to black people or something.
I heard about this.
Yeah, it's not. I don't know if it's like it's the same thing if you were to weight them or whatever, but it's along the same lines, same kind of dude in that kind of position as well. And then he had to resign. He had to resign.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone.
But I feel like that's maybe a little different. But he had to resign because of pressure from his sponsors, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So like
this
obviously,
is the sponsors' behavior.
yeah. So
You know what I
because
mean?
they're the ones with the money, is what you're saying. Usually,
Exactly.
sponsors get away from things and they save money, but it's not that case anymore.
Right. Now it's sort of the tables have turned where the sponsors are misbehaving and the league is now.
So you always talk about how there's like not always repercussions for things when companies talk out of both sides of their mouth, or they don't take a stand at issues that you'd expect them to. That's just going to happen again. The Overwatch and just keep their mouth shut and then continue to maybe like penalize players for tweeting out Pepe the Frogs.
Yeah, I think Kraft is going to be fucking fine.
Yeah, well, Kraft
no
will be
one's
fine,
not buying cheese, right? So like I think Kraft is going to be fine. Whether or not Overwatch League wants to virtue signal to everyone is up for debate. Like they might just act in a good way to help maybe pressure from other sponsors.
Yeah,
I can see it going either way, but I find it like an incredible double standard, honestly, from Overwatch League if they don't speak about it, right?
Yeah,
I find that to be very, especially if they're going on this like fucking tirade of policing players or like micromanaging behavior. Then you better have good behavior on your own, right? Like,
just keep your mouth shut, right? Like, there's no fucking. I don't know why people feel the need to be like moral arbiters. Like, it's. I mean, I guess I don't know. Do you believe that there are objective morals? I don't know if you've given how much thought you've given that. So.
Yeah.
I mean, I think.
I think so. I know you don't, but I would say there is some sense of objective morality. Like, there's definitely things that are.
This podcast is over. We've got to go. I've got to go.
I know you don't, but I think there is. I think that there's universal morality. That's like that some things are just so fucked up. Fundamentally, humans were not made to do certain things.
You know, I think everyone says that, but it's really hard to find that one thing. But to really push those arguments to their limits.
Yeah.
But we don't have to do it live.
No, we don't. Well, we could talk about this more.
We could talk about it, yeah.
But I could go about this for hours. But anyway, I in terms of Overwatch, I hope they do speak out just for consistency.
Yeah.
In the perfect world, I wish they don't speak out and they didn't fucking micromanage anybody. But that being said, they probably wouldn't have hit Kraft as a sponsor or Coca-Cola if they were very loosey-goosey. So
yeah,
it's hard to say objectively, but I hope they do speak out just to be consistent.
You want to play Apex?
Let's fucking do it.
Let's go.
I'm down. Let's go.
All right, that was it for this episode of. We ran for an hour and 43. Actually, oh fuck, do we have? Oh no, this is restarted. So this is just the podcast, I think. So yeah, it wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't the prefacing with the 3 or 4 or 5 Apex games that we played. All right, that was fun. That was good talk. It's midnight. It's like 9 o'clock. It's almost Squeaks' bedtime at the West Coast. Yeah,
it sure is.
Somebody cram in some Apex and then hit the hay. Thanks for hanging out, and see you again next week. Remember, this is also on YouTube. This will be on YouTube. This was live. You get to see all of Squeaks' reactions, surprised expressions on his face. Yeah, that's the thumbnail right there. So if you want to see that thumbnail, check it out on YouTube.
Oh, good night, everyone. One more thing. Be sure you fucking tweet at us, like at Launders and at Squeaks15. Ask us questions. Stay engaged. If someone said something that you hated, let us know. If someone said something you loved,
Yeah. Like, honestly, like, if you don't like Tetris, like, it's a bad game, just feel free to speak your mind.
Don't share your mind. If that's the case, honestly, it's better not to say anything, honestly.
Right. No. Freedom. There's freedom of speech in this podcast.
Yeah, but freedom isn't free, so check yourself, seriously. Yeah, so anyway.
Okay. All right, well, when you get to name the show, then maybe you get to make the rules, all right? But until that day...
We'll take the show over, one podcast at a time.
Okay. All right, well, hopefully that slow creep doesn't amount to anything. We'll be back next week, maybe Saturday, maybe Sunday. Who knows?
Who knows?
All right, goodbye, everybody.